19. It was conducted by Professor Lucas. Then the TD 108 was a skills development workshop conducted by Mrs. Kirti Chalakaran, and its theme was post-COVID job placements. Are you ready? The last seminar that we had held was DD 110, and the theme was entrepreneurship development in higher education institutions. What are the issues and challenges? And this was conducted by Dr. S.K. Prasad, Professor of Reva University from Bangalore. Today's session is DD 111. This is a 2-day faculty development program conducted between 4:30 and 6. The theme is significance of research in teaching, learning process. It is being hosted by Dr. D. It is being facilitated by Dr. D.N.S. Kumar. A brief introduction of Sir. Dr. D.N.S. Kumar is a doctorate and an erudite scholar with an experience of 29 years and currently serving as a Vice Chancellor of Sushant University. Rendering his expertise to students, he has worked as a professor of finance and catered to the young talent by mentoring and teaching them various subjects, including strategic cost management, corporate finance, risk management, and valuation of companies. He is a master analyst in financial forensics and has pursued his specialization in valuation of companies, bankruptcy, and liquidation and reorganization. He has been conferred with various awards and recognitions, such as the Bharatiya Rashtriya Vocational Excellence Award by Sri Lakshmi Institute for Women and Rural Development of Dharwad in 2007. The other is Muhammad Yunus Economic Development Award by Rural Development Organization Belgaum in 2006. He is a recipient of Merit Scholarship from S. Nijalingappa Nidhi, Bangalore, for being first state of Karnataka amongst teacher children at BCom exam in 1986. Item writer for Institute of Management Accounting USA and regularly administered webinar on various contemporary topics of finance, valuation, and forensic finance on behalf of Consultancy Training Institute USA. Dr. Kumar seized every opportunity that came his way and made the best out of it. Being recognized for his efforts by renowned organizations, he helped his team and organization reach its highest potential while escaping the revenue and making the places he worked at touch new horizons of success. Lending his knowledge and finesse to several big names, Dr. Kumar has had an experience of working for CMR IMT Bangalore as a director, Alliance Business School Bangalore as Associate Dean, Academic and Administration, Institute for Finance and International Management, the IFIM Bangalore as Director and Professor of Finance, CU Academic Staff College as Chairman, and Christ University Bangalore as Director, Research and Professor of Finance. Dr. Kumar has set a different benchmark altogether while he paves a path to collective growth and encourages his students and colleagues to put their best foot forward. Next slide, please.
Yes.
With this, I hand over the stage to Dr. D.N.S. Kumar, who would be taking us on the topic that he has discussed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patros. Thanks for introduction. DNS, sir, over to you, sir.
Well, good evening to everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it's my pleasure to be a part of this exercise, wherein Disciple India has taken the lead, and I must compliment them. As I go to compliment, I also request them not to do only during pandemic days, but post-COVID also keep continuing. Because learning is such an exciting experience, and every one of us need to be on the learning curve. let me get into the topic of the day and tomorrow. And I have split the topic into 5 areas. What is the curiosity? And to that curiosity, from where you get the topics or the themes. And currently we get into so much of research and some of the aspects which are quite relevant, not only at regional level, national level, but significant at international level, which we'll leave aside. Now, when we look into such of the aspects which we leave, what research has to be done on those areas? And it is such an interesting aspect in the career of anybody for that matter. When I say anybody for that matter, it is not the teachers or the professors only who do research. In every walk of life, you find every one of us doing one or other research, including a farmer. So how that pedagogy of doing our profession, the modes of engagement gets enhanced with better approaches and better modes when we are into research. This is what we are going to look into during next 3 hours. Today maybe an hour, maybe tomorrow maybe an hour, and with interaction. I would like to touch upon this topic not theoretically, but practically, how one should be so eager. The curiosity has to come within, and what are the purposes for which that curiosity should come and how it comes. Let us look into that, and with such curiosity, how you get the topics. Can I ask one or two of you who are participating, do you want the session to be theoretical based, or do you want with the practical examples how curiosity builds the research culture and changes the pedagogy ultimately? May I ask, Arthi is there, Bhavya is there, and Shivakami is there, or any other participants also. How shall we go ahead? It should not be from my side, it should be from learner's point of view. Should we do it practically oriented with some of the examples I'm bringing? How I got curiosity. Yes, Shivakami is open.
Practical, sir.
Good afternoon, Shivakami.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for asking the suggestion from the participant. I think practical would be more practical today in this current thing. There's so much of research which we can do in the current time. So practical is what we think
Sure.
we should have that.
Sure. Revati also wanted to pitch in.
Yes, sir. Practical approach will help us a lot, sir.
Yeah. As I asked some specifically to people, you can put on your video also so that I can also see you. Right. Okay. See, as we talk about curiosity of research is $1 million question before everybody. And whenever I get a platform, I make it a point to make one statement. And the wrong notion that we all professors sometimes we have is, including me, when I say professors, including me, that it is we as a professors, we only do the research. That's the wrong thing. The best people on this earth that I have seen who do day in and out the research is lawyers in the High Court and Supreme Court. They have no other go than getting into the research every day. If I have to give an example, the list of cases that they have to attend tomorrow, today 6 o'clock, the list will come to them. Until 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, they have to dig a lot of literature, a lot of citations, a lot of precedences, and they have to get prepared for that. Same is the case with the doctor also. Today, the days have got changed. Take for that matter any field, even industry you take. They disrupt the products. They add the new attributes to the products. They bring the cost reduction. How is that all? This is all by research. So curiosity has to be there. And this curiosity, for what purpose, from where it comes, and how it makes us to get into the business of that research, a researcher sometimes will not know. Right? But it is always good to be well focused. For what purpose I am doing the research? Research is not just to publish the research papers. Sometimes your research papers, if you are in the race of publishing the research paper only, your research papers may not have been read by your own colleagues also. And your curiosity of doing the research should not be just for publishing the paper. Maybe somebody wants to do the research and his curiosity is down the line 5 years or 10 years, he wants to be a good consultant. One cannot say and should not say, oh, who will wait for 5 years, 10 years to become a consultant? Let me publish one research paper and get into another research paper. If that is a curiosity, what are you getting out of it? Sometimes after 4 or 5 years, you yourself will forget and you will have to look into your CV 4 years back on what topic I had done the research. Believe me, do a little research, but that research should permanently remain with you. And the curiosity of doing such a research should not be just for publishing the research paper. Okay, that is fine. You can do that because the profession demands. But at the same time, one of the sub curiosity also should be from such work of research that we do, and we get a lot of data, information, the knowledge. The purpose of the curiosity also should be to publish a small article in the newspaper. Newspaper may be in any language, not necessarily that today you need to know that language to translate it. You send it to Kannada people, Kannada newspaper people, they will translate into Hindi, they will translate into English, and they will do it. So what I'm trying to tell you is your curiosity should not be short-term oriented to publish the research paper. This curiosity should be a long run, benefits deriving from such research. Here I will give one example. I will not bring hypothetical example. I'll bring practical examples and I will give most of my experiences only and how my experiences always have enhanced to do some applied research. When I was working in a management institute, I wanted to see how valuation of the companies is done. Because my intuition was telling, this is one area which I have not learned much and wherein we may get some business of consultancy. So what I did is I caught hold a couple of firms and I tried to gather as much information as possible from such organizations and made a case study. And as I was interacting with the businessman, and this business sector was foundry sector, and they were impressed with the kind of knowledge that I was passing to them in terms of cost management, financial discipline, financial prudence, financial charge, integrating financial, the functional area to marketing area, production area, how that will bring financial health in the organization. They requested me, with your kind of knowledge and the intensive, integration that you build between different functional area. In Chennai, in 2003, we have a conference called as Surecon 2003. Can you make a presentation? Then I thought, let me integrate whatever the knowledge that I have and how the value of the businesses should be arrived. The value of the business is not what the balance sheet talks of. I made a presentation in 2003, and after 4 years, I got a call from an industrialist. After 4 years, I'm telling you, that Professor Kumar, you had made a presentation in 2003, and that your presentation was captured in the souvenir of that conference of foundrymen across the country, and your presentation was on valuation of companies. And in my company, having 7 companies, a group of investors, minority shareholders and majority shareholders, there is a dispute which is going on, and how to resolve this dispute, how much share each one of us should get minority and majority. Can you give us a consultancy in valuation of a company? I was thrilled. I was thrilled. So I took it up, and this consultancy spread over 3 years, because this went to civil court also, high court also, company law board also, it came up to Supreme Court also. So why I'm giving you this example is the curiosity of doing a research on a single topic or a theme should not be short-term oriented. This curiosity should be a larger picture you should keep in mind. A larger picture, when I say, it may be at a regional level, it may be a time frame, or it may be at international level, or it may be multidisciplinary, or whatever it is. That research, another curiosity should be a curiosity to address the issues and the problems. There are so many industrial problems are there, functional problems are there, societal problems are there, community-related problems are there. Unless and until your research is going to address those issues, that research is of no use to anybody. If I have to give an example of funding agencies, we have ICMR, ICSSR, UGC. You know why they fund for the research? They may not have explicitly mentioned to you people, including me, why ICSSR focuses on socio-economic political areas of research. From the projects carried out by the professors or otherwise, there will be some projects which are directly touching upon the policy related aspects of socio-economic political, and they get out of it, out of the research. And when they look into the parameters or the objectives on which the proposals have come, whether these objectives are going to address some of the social issues or not. So therefore, that kind of curiosity that we should have. I met one gentleman from ISRO, Dr. T.K. Alex, and he was explaining to a group of us what is the kind of research today the industry looks for. The industry won't look for from professors or from academicians a solo functional or discipline research. Industry expects a research which has been done focusing on multiple functional areas. So how should we do? We should come together, and that kind of curiosity of addressing the industrial issue should be there when we are venturing into a research. To give an example, how overall or holistic solution we can give it to the industry. If an industry is having marketing issue, it's not just for marketing issue. It also is related to production. It is also related to finance. It is also related to HR. A marketing discipline people are not able to market well because cost of production is high, because human resource is not good. So in that case, our curiosity of doing a research when we are trying to touch on a particular industry is 4 or 5 of us should come together. Somebody doing on marketing, somebody doing on finance, somebody doing on HR, somebody doing on production, somebody doing on R&D, somebody doing on maybe logistic. Now, each one of us addressed the minutest of the issues which are there in that particular industry related to all these functional areas. And when we start interacting, all of us, when we are doing a research on that particular company, holistic solution will be able to give. So that is the kind of curiosity we should have. If you are given a suggestion or a recommendation, having done the research on a marketing topic, and that has an implication of finance, your suggestions will not be implemented. If it has an implication of production, your suggestions or recommendations will not be implemented. So what happens? Your research becomes just a research for the sake of research. Let me give my own example. In 1995, when I started my PhD from Karnataka University, my topic was on soft drink industry and consumer behavior. And that to area was North Goa. And that was a time, when Coca-Cola re-entered the market after 17 years of gap, and Pepsi has a, financial power. It has established well the market. The kind of suggestion, the holistic approach with which I brought a suggestion to, Coca-Cola company, which was located in a depot, which was located in Margao. They said, we want to buy your thesis. I did not do a research for the sake of curiosity. Sorry, a research for the sake of research. My curiosity was how Coca-Cola has to address the existing market, which has been well captured by Pepsi, and in the presence of hundreds of local soft drink industries. What are the kind of product change should happen? Packaging change should happen. Marketing change should happen. So all this, has to be brought in. That is what the curiosity of the research should not be just short-term oriented or just for the sake of MPhil or PhD or promotion. So if you do, or if I do such kind of research, my research will not be known to anybody. If that research which is done, which is addressing the socio-economic, political or industrial or governmental issues, you will be well sought in the market. Now, when I say well sought in the market, I would like to, prevail upon you to giving some example. Look at only few people from different universities have been sought by the government to be a part of some of the committees. Because these are the people who have done applied research. These are the people who have done the research which is throwing a direction to the government how the governmental policies have to be readdressed. So what I'm suggesting to you is, do not focus on one or other aspects or one or other benefits of research only. From your research, as you do research, some working paper should come. You should be so open. As you do the literature review, as you have some data and you made an analysis of that, bring out a working paper and keep that working paper open for everybody. Anybody can use your data. Anybody can use your literature review and they can publish the paper. Now here what happens is, whatever you are doing, it is getting opened for critical inquiry. Unfortunately, one such thing that will lack in the process of research is when we are into research, we are not that interested in sharing our research or the topic on which we are doing the research with others. But you should have that curiosity, the curiosity of discussing your research topic with hundreds of people. You may ask a question to me, Professor Kumar, if we start discussing with so many people, our guides won't allow that. Then your research will not be relevant research. Your research is not bringing several, who are these people who are going to use this research, your research, and who will be able to give a critical inquiry to you, information to you, a constructive suggestion to you, how your research should be, instead of going with one direction only. So therefore, have such a broader perspective of doing a research which will bring you, which will make you to think on that particular topic, not just for 6 months, not for 1 year or few years. On that topic, you should be building one or other aspect, maybe next 10 years or 20 years. I'll give another example. When I started one research doing with another industry where I was working, I will not name name those industries. These are all confidential information. But industrialist was very close with me. I said, I just want to use your data and how production is happening, finance is happening, and all that. And in the process, I got to know there were several data, the information which managing director want to see every day, and he or she was not getting. And as I went on analyzing the data, collecting the data from HR also, marketing also, then production also, inventory also, the reports were not getting generated. Then I thought, why don't I think of having a tie-up with a computer science professor, and we create one software for these industries, wherein integration of all the data which get generated or added every day, at the end of the day, balance sheet, inventory level, outstanding with the debtors, all should happen. All should be known. It should be like not management information system, wherein as and when management asks the data, you get the data, but decision support system at the desk of the managing director or the executive, everything should be obvious. We started from somewhere and we got a lot of data information related to so many areas. We got the data and information from production also, marketing also, distribution also, from the customers also. Interestingly, one thing I'll share, which we had not thought of also, unthought, when your curiosity is a broad one, unthought, unplanned information start coming to you. This was a client who used to supply the castings to several industrialists across the country. And he had 198 customers. This was some 12 years back, 12, 14 years back. And in 198, different places. And every place he had opened one bank account, current account, and he had maintained a balance of 1 crore rupees as an outstanding balance. Sorry, 1 lakh rupees. So I said, your 1.98 lakhs of rupees approximately is lying idle. He was shocked. How do you say that? Internet banking has come. You can have only one bank account. You can have only 1 lakh rupees with the ICICI Bank or Axis Bank or S Bank, whatever it is. That's more than sufficient. That time S Bank was not there. I'm just giving an example. So this kind of inputs start coming to you. The curiosity not only ends with the curiosity of having the internalizing the research process or the prospects keeps on getting enhanced. So therefore, your curiosity of doing the research should not be, defined one. Sometimes it has to be undefined also. You should be able to take it up also. Many people I'm stunt not believer in the hypothesis. You may disagree with my thought process. I take it well. See, you have set objectives, why you want to do the research, and related to that, you establish the hypothesis also. It means you compartmentalized your work. As you enter the market, as you start interacting with the society, as you start collecting the data and information, a lot of new things comes to your mind, right? And if you go with those hypotheses only, your research will remain with that only. But your curiosity of doing the research should be open always. So this is how the broader curiosity of doing the research one should have. The second aspect, any questions at this stage? Yes, Rajesh. Shall we continue?
Any questions? I think Dr. Revati, the question.
Anybody for that matter, not necessarily Revati only. Anybody want to at this stage? Otherwise, we can go to the next level. Yes, Revati has opened.
Sir, when we say curiosity, like can you just give a live example of any HR related issue or any issue?
See, when I say curiosity of doing the research, it should not be narrowed one, doing only related to HR. So it is a broader term. Curiosity is a broader term wherein you may look into the investment that you are making, training that you have to do, right? The incentive schemes that you have to bring, right? This incentive scheme again, how you are going to convince it. See, many people may not get convinced how a HR can think of giving an incentive or formula-based salary and wages to the employees.
Okay.
All right, I'll give an example, which also I did in one of the industries in one place. And you see, I suggested to the chairman and managing director, you are there in the business of hydraulic and you have set number of employees. Why you cannot consider all the machineries that you have wherein the foremen are working as independent SBUs, strategic business units. And you set the target for them. Target in terms of production also. And for that production, what is the cost that they have to incur? Suppose one foreman who has to manufacture 10 hydraulic units per day and cost of doing that is 1,500. Suppose if he does that in 1,400 cost, he saved 100 rupees.
Yes.
Do you want to retain all that 100 rupees with yourself or do you want to share with the employees?
Okay.
He had no answer for that.
Okay.
And I suggested keep on sharing with them. If you are not interested in sharing with them, 50-50, share with them 30% and you retain 70%.
Okay.
And we implemented that. You may not believe the all foremen started maintaining their own machine. So over a period of time, in 6 months' time, we came with the suggestion that let us remove the maintenance department. Maintenance department, what is to do after the work hours are over, they used to go clean the machines and all that. Now this foreman himself want to maintain it. We saved the cost in there. Not only at SBU level, at a machine level, we started saving, but also we started saving at a factory level, industry level. And over a period of time, you may not believe, when we started this exercise, The cost of sales, I used to do consulting for this organization. The cost of sales was 93%. If the sales were 100 rupees, the profit was 7 rupees, gross profit. And in 3 years' time, the cost of sales came down to 78%. It means gross profit started becoming 22%. Means lots of savings started. And this saving was not remaining with only organization. This savings in the cost, increase in the production, increase in the productivity,
Okay.
all this, we started sharing with them. I'll give another example. There was another industry with whom I was doing some work, research work, and he had asked me why his workers, when they go to fair or jatra, they won't come back, although they take for 10 days or 12 days leave, they won't come back months together. And as a result of which production gets affected, customers won't be happy and all that. So I suggested to him throughout the day, and many times you move around the different companies dealing with your customers. And US is a sole proprietary organization. Why don't you convert your sole proprietary organization into private limited company, and you say that your accountant is very loyal to you? Why don't you convert your accountant as a partner of your business? He said, how can you make that suggestion? It's practically impossible. Then I said, you do it. This is a HR issue. You are converting an accountant who is an employee into an employer. Give him only 5% or 10% share in your company. And in a couple of years, you see what changes will happen in your organization. Accountant will start following with the workers, and he will see to it that the production won't get affected. He will not only do the accounting work, but he will do that also. This question is asked by Revati. I think, Revati, you may not believe, I met this company after I switched to Bangalore. I met him after, 7 years. And after 7 years back, his turnover was around 40 lakhs of rupees. I asked Mr. So-and-so, I will not tell his name. And your turnover has crossed 1 crore or what, I asked. He said, come, we'll have a cup of tea. He took me to a hotel and he said, sir, the turnover has crossed more than 12 crore rupees. How is this? Sir, I also started sharing certain amount of profit with my workers. So these are the things, these are the broader things a HR discipline researcher has to come forward and make the suggestion. These are all loud thinkings. These are all practical, and these will build a very good ecosystem in the organization. Right? And Revati, you are with a doctorate, I will tell you, this also has to start in educational institutions. Today, unfortunately, in educational institutions, professors have been looked as only as a professors and not not part of the organization. Then the hidden talent or the competency which is there with the professors, they also will come forward. They will come with the new programs. Right? Let us take up a new program which is need of the hour in the market. Hope I made a point, Revati. So this is how, in a broader way, you have to look at HR as a discipline.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Shall we move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now coming to where you get the research topics or the research themes. I would like to know from the participants, then I will build upon that. Maybe I will ask Patros or maybe Santosh. Santosh, can you just throw light on something? Professor Santosh? Can I have somebody? Yes, Shivkami.
Sir, can you repeat the question, please?
I'm asking Aarti is here. Aarti Purushottam.
Yes, sir.
See, Aarti, can you throw some light on where you get the research topic or the theme?
Maybe through Google Scholar,
Okay.
through Scopus or
Okay.
ResearchGate, or
Okay.
research topic can be selected by our passion or the interest of the field which we like to do.
Okay.
Maybe this.
But where you get that? You said Google Scholar, Scopus and all, right? Oh, okay, you are near to the answer. Near to the answer. Can you, do you want to build on that?
No.
Anybody else? Rajesh is here. Okay. Typically, we try to, understand research topics or the themes or the aspects on which we want to do the research we get in the literature review. That is in the Google or in the Scopus journals, etc. Or some of the magazines and all that. But believe me, in addition of all this, you get a good research topics or the theme in the market, in the industry, in the society. And that is where the applied research comes. Because you need to do the research, a research which is relevant. Not research based upon some of the theories. Some of the theories may not be working today because these theories have been built maybe 30, 40 years back. But these theories in a modified manner, or we have to modify and we have to practice in society or in industry or in community or in government. So when you start interacting with the society, when you start getting involved with the societal issues and problems, when you start interacting with the industrial executives, when you start meeting the bureaucrats or government representatives, government policies, government actions, government failures in execution of some of the schemes, you start getting the research topics. Let's build on that. And before that, I would like to know, am I making sense? Yes, Santosh?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Santosh, please speak. Can we see you?
Hello. Yeah. Where is it?
Yes, Santosh, go ahead.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. As you said, I'm in a social work setup, not
Yeah.
just need to do research. But I was just thinking, like when we work with the communities, there are a lot of issues pertaining to the
Yes.
health and even health hygiene, and nowadays about the economic conditions of the people. So these are the top ways where we can do a research and enlighten ourselves, as well as which is very relevant we can take up.
Yeah. Even see, I'll tell you, be open, be on the video, I'll tell you. See, hundreds of schemes government implements. It may be woman and child. It may be PMRI. It may be Rozgar Yojana, right? How successfully these people, these governments have executed the schemes. These are the good topics, right? It may be related to industry department. Subsidy given. See, when I was in Bangalore, I had a friend in Commissioner for Industries, Mr. Gurucharan. He asked me, we were just discussing some other topic and topic came, we give capital subsidy to small and medium sized industries up to 25%. It was some 14 years back, 14, 15 years back. He asked, can we check how many industries who have taken the subsidy, 25% of the capital investment, they are really existing and they are doing the business. When we did the research, 69% of the industries who had taken the subsidy, they never came into existence at all. Never came into existence at all. They gave all dummy project profiles, wrong addresses, and they availed the subsidy. As a result of which, a strong suggestion was made by me and my team. Henceforth, don't give any capital subsidy, give interest subsidy. Interest subsidy will be given to only those people who have not only taken the who have taken the loan from the bank. If they are paying 12% interest, let them pay only 8% and 4% interest will be paid by the government. Which worked out very well. Lot of saving to the government, and those people who were really doing economic activities started getting benefit out of it. So when you start interacting with the bureaucracy, government machinery, society, industry people, you get an idea. I'll give you another example of industry. See, I used to try to understand what are the issues of industry people, why they say they are able to produce, but they are not able to market. Particularly the issue with the small and medium-sized industry people. The issue is they are not aware of where the market is available for their product. Because they doesn't have a strong IT department. They doesn't have the strong marketing department. Interestingly, I used to do some work with the Ministry of Industries, Government of India. And that time the report was generated. And today also, if you go on the website of Ministry of Industries and Commerce, to your right, there is an icon DGTD, Director General Trade and Development. If you click on that icon, after clicking, it will ask 4-digit or 8-digit excise code number. Now the code numbers have changed. So once you put that your product's excise code number, what is the market available for your product across the world? Everything comes. Right? This you will come to know when you start interacting with the government people. When you start interacting with the marketing department people of other industries. And if you cross your fingers and sit, see, these are some of the relevant and highly significant topics which you will get from the market, from the society, from the industry and all. Of course, I'm not against the research literature. You can go through the Scopus journal also, magazines also, all that. But if you want, your research should be read by the people, your research should be referred by the people, your research should be sought by the people, your research should be solving the problems and issues of the people. You should identify such topics which are relevant topics, which are the burning topics, wherein your applications will come into picture there. And if you are not getting such, if you are not doing research on such topics, your research will be only on research paper. It will be there only on your CV, and it will not be read by any other people also. You may put a question to me. No, sir, my research paper has been cited by 20 people, 40 people, hundreds of people. I have 150 citations. I'm very critical of some of the aspects of research because, I want to increase my references in my research paper. Sometimes without any stuff in others' research paper also, I want to include in my research paper and make it as a reference. And that goes as a citation. So what I'm trying to tell is your research should be so broad. It should not be just for publication purpose. Right? And all this you get in the society. That is in the market, with your friends, with your relatives, with the community. As Santosh rightly mentioned, as he's from the social science background, how many social issues are there? How many burning social issues are there? We leave aside all that and we pick some theory and we try to build on that theory only. we try to link that theory to the current social issue, sometimes which is not linkable. Why you cannot generate your own theory of research from your research? All right, I'll give an example. In 1920s and 30s, China was facing the problem of population, that is shortage of population. And one social economist named Tibber, he was a good researcher and he understood the societal issues, lack of population in China. And in his research paper, he suggested to the government of China, those who do not produce the children, tax them heavily. And if they produce second children, give them some incentive. If they produce third children, give some more incentive. If they produce fourth children, give them some more incentive. And within a short span of time, Chinese population improved like anything. So China was suffering with that problem, right? Lack of, lot of talent is there, geographical resources are there, but these resources, how best we can make use of for larger population was the issue. So that Tibber-like research today is very relevant. So friends, keep in mind, do not depend only on the literature review. Whatever literature review you have, try to understand how relevant that is to the current situations, current issues in the market. And create your own topic of research. Your own topic of research. All right. See, many people, I was going through one of the Viva, and wherein professor had done on consumer behavior. And consumer behavior theory has been brought by Mr. Skupman and Tull in 1969. And when I attended, because I also had done my PhD on consumer behavior only, the variables which Skupman and Tull have focused in 1969, in his research in 2014-15, same variables were there. I said, your research is not relevant. You have taken only those variables which were there in 1969. Today, the society is different, community is different, market is different, income level of the people is different, preferences are different, taste is different, spending habits are different. But the current variables, how the consumer mind changes, you have not brought it. So this research, even if you take to any industry also, industrialists will start filling a gap in the research. This research has not addressed other variables which are required to be addressed. So that way, you can bring your own variables. And those variables may be altogether totally different, which may not be relevant, which may not be that significant at all. Sorry, which are quite significant, but others who have done earlier research, those variables, you feel today that those are less significant. So you need not incorporate all those. So that is how you have to bring a curiosity among yourself and the topic of the research, not that you will you get in the reference book or textbook, or you get only in the literature review. Sometimes if you make exciting sessions, you may get the topic of the research from the students also. Today students are well informed. You don't know what kind of questions, what kind of areas with which they want to ask you to answer. So there also you may get some topic of research. I'll give an example. I was interacting with one German managing director in Coimbatore, and we had gone to sign a deal for my client who was supplying the bearings to them. And this research was done within 1 hour. To give an example, suppose a bearing weighing half kg, that is 500 gram. If its price is 100 rupees, and the German person was asking for, if it is in India, the price is for 100 rupees, and our cost of sales is 94 rupees, we were selling for 100 rupees and German person was asking for 96 rupees. Then my managing director said, in India, we are selling for 100 rupees and our cost of sales is 94 rupees. We are making a profit of 6 rupees. If we sell it to German fellow, we make a profit of only 4 rupees, whereas the rate of interest at which I have borrowed from the banker is 12% interest, which may not be possible for me. So in the first half, all this discussion we did. And after the lunch, I discussed with the accountant in the company and I asked him, check with the production people, what is the production life cycle? Production life cycle. They said production life cycle is 3 months. In order to produce that bearing, once we introduce the raw material, the finished product comes out and we sell and we get back the money. This production cycle and cash conversion cycle approximately 3 months. As production person, is there any possibility if we improvise the system, can we bring down this production cycle to 2 months? It is possible. If we bring in the technology, we can possible. Then I said, the 94 rupees which we used to introduce and 4 cycles which used to be there, if we make 6 cycles and my profit is only 4 rupees, when I sell at the rate of 96, 4 rupees, I will be making a profit of 24, and where my cost of production is, cost of capital is 12%. Still it is workable. So that way, you should look into the solution-oriented research. And this we did not experiment with only one bearing for which he wanted to do the business. We experimented it with other bearings which we were manufacturing. 14 to 15 other bearings. And this research, I spent almost 6 months with production people also, finance people also, quality people also. We strengthened all that and we identified the new customers also. So new business also came. So that way, the horizon of the research has to be enhanced when you start making your research applied one. I'm coming to the point now. Till now, I had hidden that point. Your research should not be basic research. It should be applied research. A research which is relevant to the society, to the industry, to the community and government. And if you have done that kind of, experimented research and applied research, even if you are asked after 15 years of your research also, you will be able to talk on that research. But if you have done the basic research, by referring some of the journals, by referring some of the literature, you may have, there is a possibility that the research which you had done 2 years back, 3 years back, you may forget that research. So have good curiosity, a broader curiosity, and try to identify the themes on which you can do the research, not just from the journals and all that, but by interacting with the society, public at large and all that. So this is what I wanted to talk to you today. If you have any questions, I'll be able to take it up.
I think Nivedita B. Patil, she had a question. She raised her hand. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have a question. So good evening.
Patil, Nivedita, go ahead.
Sir?
Please ask, what is
Yes,
it?
sir. So I wanted to, yes, sir. So I wanted to conduct a research on our education industry itself. Basically,
Okay.
I'm a faculty. So
Okay.
day to day, we faced some kind of issues while teaching where it is very difficult for the college, the management, as well as the university in general. Like it is very difficult for the people because our students lack emotional quotient. As we all know, like as we all know, like they are very reluctant towards the knowledge. So I want to conduct a research why this behavior is there with them. So how do I do this, or what will be my topic, or where I have to head to gain more knowledge about this, and which will be the most interesting topic that I can hold on?
Nivedita is a quite relevant research, but I would like to ask you,
Ha,
Who
sir.
on whom you want to do the research? Do you want to do the research on the students? Why the
Yes,
emotion?
yes, sir. On the students.
I would suggest you
Yes, sir.
do on students, but before you do on the students, do on the faculty.
Okay, sir.
Because it is the faculty who are not getting connected with the students.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, the students are not able to imbibe the emotional quotient which is required.
Yes, sir. Correct, sir.
And this is because lack of confidence among the faculty members. I'm sorry to say this, I am also professor,
Yes, sir. I agree, sir. I agree,
Yeah.
sir.
right? Because the faculty members are not getting updated their skill, knowledge and competency.
Yes, sir.
Faculty members are becoming submissive.
Yes, sir.
Faculty members are becoming yes masters.
Yes, sir.
So when all these things are lacking with the faculty members itself, the emotional quotient is missing with the faculty only. How you can think of having better emotional quotient with the students?
Okay, sir.
So do a research on the trainers, that is
Okay.
faculty members, in order to ensure the emotional aspects among the faculty members. What are the attributes the faculty should have?
Okay, sir.
And for these attributes to ensure, what kind of intervention is required?
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'll give an example.
Okay,
In
sir.
2011, when I started Academic Staff College in Christ University. Nivedita, you are listening?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am, sir.
When I started the Academic Staff College in Christ University, we
Yes, sir.
made it a point, this Academic Staff College is going to be exclusively for Christ professors.
Okay, sir.
And I said, there were many aided faculty members coming from government funded.
Okay, sir.
They said, we are not for it.
Okay.
We said nothing doing. So you have to do it. And second thing I said is, you are expecting the students to attend 85% attendance. And in academic staff college exercise like quality improvement program, refresher program, orientation program, you should have 100% attendance.
Okay.
Right? The change has to come from us.
Yes, sir.
We cannot expect change to be coming from the people who are listening to us.
Okay.
We have to set a role model.
Okay, sir.
So basically, it is not only, the faculty members, the support which is required to ensure that kind of competency among the faculty members, the management of the institutions also should ensure it.
Okay, sir.
We assure so many things, but we won't ensure.
Yes, sir. Fact, sir.
Right? So
Yes.
address on all these issues. Maybe you can take one good institution and one non-good institution. Let me not to say bad institution.
Okay, sir.
Right? Why things are falling better in one place, why things are not falling better in other place.
Okay, sir.
Right? I'm not
Okay.
telling academic staff college is a solution.
Okay.
Right? In the state universities, there are academic staff colleges wherein that has not helped in any way.
Okay, sir.
But here you are talking about emotional quotient to be ensured among the students.
Okay, sir.
In order to ensure that, as a professor, I should be confident.
Yes, sir.
See, I'll give an example. As a professor, if I cannot solve my own problem, how can I teach the students to solve the industry problem or social problem?
Correct, sir.
So that kind of competency we should ensure, and it is very difficult to get that kind of high competent, professors also. Therefore, educational institutions have to continuously keep on training the people.
Okay, sir.
Hope I made a.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got clarity, sir. Thank you so much.
There's one more relevant question, sir. What are the research outcomes for teachers?
Research outcomes for teachers. Your confidence, your competency, you are well sought in the market, You are sought by the students. You are highly articulative. You build your own theories. Right? You integrate the different disciplines when you are teaching. You bring moral education also. And you bring ethical aspects also in any topic on which you teach. These are very important. These are the outcomes which one has to ensure.
And one more question from Professor Bhavya Padmanabhan. Sir, how can we do experimental research in English literature? Can you give some examples through which we can direct communication with society and do relevant research useful for the society?
See, Padmanabhan, I'm not a literature professor, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of things which you can do related to society. You are talking about English literature and not English. And your literature of English is there in the society itself. Take up all those socio-economic oriented topics and how your literature can address with a good communication, with a soft communication, with the issues to be addressed, and that becomes a good English literature research.
Hope you got the answer, madam. And one more question from Dr. Shivkami. Is funding possible for a topic of multidisciplinary nature of faculty from different institutions?
Madam, in the research foundation, in the national education policy, all research funding is going to be for multidisciplinary one, not a discipline focused. In the national education policy, research foundation itself is getting created, and age is not a bar for doing a research. At the age of 90 also, you can submit a multidisciplinary proposal. If it is a good topic, you can get funding for that also.
No, yes, sir. Thank you that. But one more addition to that, I just wanted to know if 2 or 3 faculties from various universities, or 3 or 4 people from not from the same institution but different institution join together. Is it possible? Because some of the institutions you might not be. For example,
Professor Shivkami, every funding agency is looking for that. Not only within the country, outside the country also.
Okay.
And there are a lot of external funding agencies who are available, who want from different country professors should have come for a particular research project.
All right.
And many a time, if you have 3-4 faculty from the same institution, sometimes possibility of rejecting your proposal is very high.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I need to share something here.
Yeah.
I'm doing my research on HR topic, employee engagement. Okay. Whenever I present this topic, relevant topic to employee engagement in any conference or any seminar or something, the panel members used to tell this is an old concept. Please focus on the new concept like talent management, HRIS, dashboards, and so on. So my curiosity is to know about much about employee engagement. But whenever I present it, in this conference or seminar, panel members usually tell this. So because my presentation is good, but the topic is an old concept. So usually they give me a comment like, please focus on new. So this really demotivates. So how to cope up this, sir?
You need not get motivated by the words of others. Your topic is quite relevant, but I would request you to extend that topic to engagement to experience.
Okay.
Everybody is interested, every employer is interested in engaging the people, not 1 hour, 2 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours. But what is that experience that you are creating?
Okay.
If you engage the employee for 10 hours also, if that person is not getting any experience out of it, there's no point.
Correct.
So how to create that experience? That experience comes from the ecosystem that you have ensured, the ambience that you have created, the trainings that you are giving, the motivation factor which is there, the interpersonal relations which are there, the new technology which you have brought, the library that you have established.
Okay.
Right? These all will give different experiences to the people. So focus more on not engagement, focus on how we can create experience.
Okay, sir.
And don't get into the words of critics made by other people. See, there may be organization on which you are doing, they have not created any good engagement, and you may be doing on that. But what I would suggest, from engagement, you move ahead to experience.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have one more question here from Mr. Manoj. How to address the problem of non-responsiveness of participants in research survey?
Do the peer discussion. Make it, some small sample size. See, if the heterogeneity of the population is there, then only you require larger sample size. If homogeneity is there, then don't get bothered for larger sample size. Right? Responses which are going to come to you from homogeneity are going to be almost the same. So in spite of that also, if you are not getting the response from the survey, right, maybe you have to relook into your proposal itself, or if you are not interested in doing that, then do interview schedule. Don't send the questionnaire, you reach to the people.
Thank you, sir.
So what are your opinions on qualitative research by Dr. Shivkami?
I'm touching on this on tomorrow on qualitative research. There's one gap area. I will give you some examples of that. You will get an answer to that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So any other questions? Any other questions? I believe there are no questions as of today. Yes.
Okay, I take your leave. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you all. Tomorrow will be again joining at 4:30 p.m. So I'll be sending you the link by tomorrow. So please do join in by 4:30.
Tomorrow you can come with some questions that you have and clarifications.
Yes. And sir, with your
Sure,
permission, sir is also in the group, WhatsApp group. Any communications to be done, that can be done tonight. Any questions? That can be taken up tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, sir. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So good night all.